Welcome in the Pastime Picks Podcast. I am Keith, Vintage Sport Flips. You're mocking my intro?
Yeah, I'm Andy, the king of Pennants. Let's go, Brandon.
Oh, we got someone in the chat already. All right. What's up, Brandon? How's it going, man? So, guys, we have a interesting one tonight. We went back to sports, and we did a couple of this style draft in the past where we do we're drafting running backs, but by era. So I think we're both going to draft. What's up, Mark Hoyle? How's it going, man? We're both gonna draft two from each era, and we'll go over the eras in a little bit, but it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of fun researching this one. So we shall see. We shall see. I know. I have a feeling that there's gonna be some controversy.
Yeah. Well, I looked at a lot of different ranking lists, and a lot of those lists were utterly ridiculous. I'll say.
Yeah.
Freaking Frank Gore, top 10. Frank Gore. The dude was never the best running back in the league any year he ever played. You can't be a top 10 running back of all time if you're not the best running back at least for 1 year.
Agreed.
He played forever. He played forever, but that's we're going for greatness, not just surviving longevity.
Yeah, I think the part of the thing that's going to be difficult here too, and it's the same thing we had with what did we do? Baseball last time? I forget what we did.
We did outfielders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Brandon. I'll take that. I'll take a Lions Chiefs Super Bowl. Works for me. Hopefully we win, but yeah. But yeah, the only issue that I think that kind of arises is because some of these guys span the multiple sort of generate sort of time frames. So it's I almost think you kind of have to put the guy in the one he's most in. But then there's some that So anyway,
there's a couple players definitely split two of them by very evenly, right?
That's right, Mark. I remember that now.
Yeah.
You guys double team me on the old school guys.
Oh, come on.
Where's your mind at?
It was weird. Yeah, but we're all drafting old players and new players.
I know, but I feel like I got taken advantage of on the old players.
Yeah, definitely did.
So
here's what we got. Let me share my screen for the errors here. And Andy, we can show the giveaway too in a second that we're going to do in the first segment. Yeah. But here's what we're doing. So we're each going to draft two players from the 20s to 30s era. That's my heyday. That's my cup of tea right there. Then we got the 40s to 50s, 60s and 70s, 80s and 90s, and then Y2K to current. So that's and we're made it a little more difficult drafting two each. And
I think it's because if it's just one, then it's there's usually two players at least that are kind of legendary and stuff too. So hey, Christopher.
Yeah. What's up, Chris Nutter? How's it going, man?
So anyway, I agree. I do like doing these though. These are fun to do. Definitely brings up some people, and it's I think it is too, Brandon, because it's the other thing is too, almost the style of play is totally different from from time frame to time frame. So sometimes you're dealing with this guy's probably the best running back or whatever, but either is off, it wasn't a style that they did then or something, so there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Or
receiving backs weren't really a thing. Pre 70s maybe
exactly
a little bit, but not a ton.
But
it'll be interesting. I guess Andy, we'll do two players. We'll just do two per round, and we have to do it that way.
I think so. It's also it's also I feel
thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, if everyone hit that thumbs up, we much appreciated. Very thank you for anyone that does.
Stop that. I feel like the other thing I would say too, the positions were a little bit more kind of nuanced, not as nuanced, maybe, there's some kind of
there's some candidates. There's some candidates. There's definitely some candidates.
I think there's just the players were. Those positions weren't running backs weren't always what they are these days. There's a little bit of crossover and stuff, and some things anyway, I won't give too much away.
Well, speaking of speaking of the draft here, I am shocked that last week I got beat pretty handily.
Pretty handily.
Last draft. Yeah, it was like 68 to 32, however the math was. I mean, wasn't really that close. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I think the Matchbox car up the bunghole. I mean, that should just won me the draft by itself, but somehow
That's not how it works. You gotta be start to finish, buddy.
Yeah,
I told a story with my picks. Yours your end was your beginning.
I don't know. So so you won that. So you're 1 game winning streak.
Yeah,
but I still have it. What do I have? A 5-game lead?
But I'm on a 2-game not losing streak.
5-game lead. And another it's been 5 weeks in a row now, and both squads are coming off a win.
Yeah. So finally, I mean, I'm on a 2-game not losing streak in this though.
Oh no, yeah, I know. No, okay. We had a tie, then a win. I got what you're saying. Okay. But I was just going back to the Eagles.
Make sure. I wanted to make sure of that.
Yeah.
Start somewhere. Thank you, Brandon. Yeah. We are, you got to start foundationally. We had to reassess our drafting process. We had to go back inside. We had to bring it in internally, and we had we had to look inside, and we found the method. We found the method to win this. But yes, correct. Both of our teams kind of Whoo. I mean, your game was pretty much over in the first half, right?
Yeah, I mean, end of the first half, they sort of let them hang around in the first half, but yours was a tight one. I actually fell asleep early. I didn't really see the whole game, to be honest.
Yeah, it was one of the crazier games. It was hard to watch. Just I hate games where they completely get demolished in the first half, because it's then you don't really want to watch it. It's frustrating. And then they started coming back, and then I was like, oh well, they're gonna typical Lions are gonna blow it at the end, but they didn't. I don't know how I would say you could maybe 2 sheets of paper for both kicks.
Yeah. Well, I woke up at 4 a.m. on Sunday, which I always do. I'm a Sunday morning picker, and it's hard. Those Sunday night games, you're up at 4 a.m. I got to work 12 hours on Monday.
Yeah,
it's hard to go through the whole game. So I made it through the third quarter. And then conked out. I actually recorded it, but I woke up and accidentally hit profootballtalk.com and saw that the Lions won. I was like, damn it. Horrible start to the day.
Best part of waking up. Oh, there you go. Bill's Mafia in the house.
What's up, Dave Snyder? Welcome in. New name in the chat. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Bills are strong this year too.
Yeah, I know. I honestly think I mean, we should at one of these times we should go through and kind of maybe do our top 10 or something, do a
power rankings,
but
a monthly power ranking.
I kind of almost like the Bills better than the Chiefs right now. I mean, the Chiefs have for the past 3 weeks. I mean, the Chiefs are good. No, there's no question they'll turn it on in the playoffs. I'm not, but right now, I feel like they just find ways to just pull games out over and over.
Yeah, well, this one was extraordinary with that blocked short kick. I mean, you never see a short kick blocked. Yeah, that was wild. But yeah, they're a balanced team. I mean, they're a good team.
Yeah.
So it'll be I think we have the 4 best teams represented here with us 2 and the 2 in the chat.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say at this point. I mean, though, I guess for the top 2 records, even though since we just went over the Commanders, I don't think there's anyone. I guess Minnesota's close. Minnesota's
8-2, so they might be. Or no, yeah, are they 8-2?
I'm not sure.
Maybe they're 7-2. So
okay,
they're 1 game behind Detroit. I know that.
Okay,
so, and Detroit's 8-1. So.
And by the way, I was going to mention it earlier, but for Harry Humstone, Harry did call me in his video the King of Pennants, Andy. Harry had a great pennant haul in his video this past weekend.
Nice.
Congrats. Very nice. For a great price, man. Great price. Good some rare stuff in there. So
Harry, I won't fault you for that, but
he did say maybe he did throw you in there a little bit, but mainly I think he was referring to me. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Did you see that, Mark? That was a nice pickup.
I have to take a look. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get this show on the road.
All right, well, Andy, real quick, let's tease the giveaway, right? So for the sale of the week, we have a choice for you, either coming from me or Andy. Yeah, so for the giveaway this week, either we have a Pack Fresh. You guys, what's 83 tops, right? I should have had that right. Yeah, 83 tops Pack Fresh Walter Payton card. Given that we're doing running backs, I was gonna get this graded, pulled it out of a pack like a month ago. So you can either get that or Andy
show that, or I mean, what else would you get from me? So Sorry, I had to find.
Well, here's mine. I had up there too, so I'll show that. Pretty clean. I mean, that's a pretty strong grade, I think.
Or that.
There you go.
Marshall Falk caricature pennant.
Yeah.
Probably what do you think? Like 90s?
Yeah. Y2, yeah, right around year 2000. Yeah. That's okay, Harry. I mean, it's a very, very forgettable.
It's all good. It's all good. I know. Keith is the face and I'm the brains, I guess.
Come on now. Come on. Yes. All right. So that's a giveaway. So we'll circle back to that later on in the sales of the week category. We have an interesting sales of the week. I'll say, at least on my end. I don't know. I'm not privy to Andy's sales of the week. Yeah. So we'll see what they are.
I can't say mine are overly incredible this time, but
surprise me. I don't.
Yeah.
Any sale's a good sale. All right. Let's get the wheel of names up here.
Let's get it first. Let's get the wheel of names a popping.
Yeah, let's get it a popping. 1, 2, 3.
It's the worst.
It's our catchphrase over on Rips and Brews, by the way.
It's not really a good catchphrase, though. Honestly,
I like it.
Horrible.
I like
it. So this is interesting that we don't go 1-1 at the same time, right? I don't.
No. We'll still snake it in the first. So it'll be you, me, you for the first round.
I don't know why it just reminded me from The Office when they're doing that the night at the Roxbury scene. Remember that?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
No. I've seen The Office, but I don't remember.
Like I know Office like Seinfeld, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen every Office episode. I've seen most of them.
Yeah, it got pretty bad at the end, but
yeah,
I definitely 6 or 7 seasons are great. All right. This is tough. This is a tough position because not position necessarily. The thing that's been that's tough in this draft is whether you pick the best running back of all time type of thing, or you just kind of pick the deficiencies of areas, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So my number one pick though is also in a deficiency era, I guess too. Widely considered the best running back in history. I'm going to go with Jim Brown from the 60s and 70s.
So you consider him the best running back of all time?
Well, I don't know if he's the best, but he's certainly up there.
I'm just saying because before I said he was the best running back of all time, and you argued that point.
Well, I would say widely considered. I don't say.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if you consider him.
Oh, do I? No, I don't think I do. The problem is,
I think he is. I think he's consensus. I think consensus best all time. But no, it's a good pick. I mean, I agree. That's the 60s, 70s. It's a little bit of a weaker era than some. So
that's my number one pick. I like that. I'm kind of. I knew that part of there's some other eras that are tough, but just not like the names. But that's really the 1A for me.
I'm
and if our friend's here, I get his vote probably instantly, right?
Roman. Yeah, there's other Browns running backs maybe.
Go for it.
All right, let me look at my list real fast. Let me look at my list because I
already threw a wrench into his system.
No, not a wrench. I just trying to see.
That would have been your number one.
He's my number one overall running back for sure. Okay. I don't know if he. Yeah.
He's so you find it so difficult to say that I'm right on this. He doesn't want to cave.
I'm going to go with the another. Well, actually. It doesn't matter what order I go in here, right? I'm going to go with clearly the second or third best running back of all time. Maybe a little lower on the list. I feel he's a little bit overrated, but he definitely stands above some of the guys from his era, I would say. I'm going to go with Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders here.
I see how it is.
Going Barry Sanders, number 2 overall.
Hey, I figured it. I appreciate that you recognize that he's probably the best running back of all time. 1A with Jim Brown. That's good. It's all good. I had nothing but love, Keith. It doesn't affect me at all. So I really enjoy that you picked him over any Eagle. So that's my.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the order because it was 1, 2, 2, 1.
Sure.
The orders we don't even see the order. Yeah, I mean he played on garbage teams. I will say the Eagles always shut down Barry Sanders. I was doing a Whatnot stream on Sunday morning, and Andy was talking a little crap over there. So I pulled up YouTube and streamed the 1995 playoff game, Eagles versus the Lions, and they just shut down. Barry Sanders had like 12 yards in that playoff game.
Oh, Barry! I don't think those words will ever come out.
Oh, no, for sure not. But you probably thought I was going there when I said the most overrated running back of all time.
No,
no, I'm talking about Harry.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So my second pick, I'm going to a deprived era as far as like there being a lot of big names in this era. First running back to ever run for 1,000 yards, dominant during his time, 2 championship games, led the league in rushing, I think 4 times. I'm going Steve Van Buren.
I knew you were
Eagles
going
legend.
there. And I would have taken him next just to return the favor, but I decided not to. Okay, so let's see. I got one coming back again too.
Yeah, right, Alex. We did have Andy took Jim Brown 1. I went Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Steve Van Buren. So we're each taking 2 from these eras: 20 to 30s, 40s and 50s, 60s and 70s, 80s and 90s, and then current or modern, 21st century, I guess I should say.
Seeing as that we have to take 2 from each, and I have another pick coming next. I'm going to pillage the 60s and 70s because there's really only there's 3 total running backs that are worth anything in this, in my opinion. And I know that the one that you're going to have to end up taking, and I think we should factor in some like the actual person himself too. Like
no, not at all. Not at all.
I think we should see what this man did with the rest of his life. So I'm going to go with Gale Sayers as my second pick from the 60s and 70s.
Not bad. I like it.
So there is one more out of that, but out of that division, out of that 60s and 70s, that's, I think, kind of where it ends. I mean, in terms of legitimate, incredible running backs, in my opinion.
I had like 7 deep in that, but I agree. It's top heavy. It's top heavy. I think the 40s, 50s, it's lighter than the 60s, 70s, but where there's a lot of big names is 20s, 30s. There's a lot of big names in there, at least for me.
Oh, I know.
So, all right. So that's what we got so far. So it went Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Steve Van Buren, Gale Sayers is where we're ending the round 1 here, or round 1 and 2. And then we're going to circle into the
sale of the week.
All right. So in this segment, we show each other our sales of the week, guess selling prices of each other's items. We want to get within 10% to win. And we'll show you if we win or lose with a little comical clip. And then with the third item overall, my second item, we're going to have a giveaway where the winner of that giveaway, whoever gets closest in the chat, is going to either win
your choice.
Yeah, your choice.
Whatever you like. Marshall Falk.
Yeah. Or Pack Fresh Walter Payton 83 Topps card. That's a gradable Walter Payton there. So your choice. You can choose either item for me or Andy. Let me get my first one up. All right. So I have a vintage jacket, a 90s Penn State jacket, chalk line. Right. Like it's up front. It's not it's a cool looking jacket from the front, but
satin. Is there a little line on the back?
But baby got back, as they say.
Okay, you were waiting to say that all day.
I just came up with that right there. I swear to God.
That's not even like the Nittany lion, is it? Isn't the Nittany lion white?
It's an Agri line.
It's like a wrong lion. It's like a knockoff Nittany lion. But the Nittany lion is a white lion, right? We even went to school with a guy who was the mascot for the Nittany lion for a while.
No, I don't think it's a white lion. Is it? I don't think so, because it's
blue,
on the shoulder.
I mean, that's.
I wear this. I have an Eagles jacket. There's like 4 different variations of this Eagles coat, but I have 2 of them. But they're both the same.
Oh, really? Okay. What year is this from?
90s. I would say
Harry, I'm going to say I agree. I think it's a Panther. It looks like a Black Panther.
Regardless, it's tough. It's tough. I almost kept it in case my son decided to go to Penn State, but
I'm sure he would not wear that though.
No, he wouldn't. No. I had to like beg him to wear his silver satin Eagles jacket to the game. I'm like, he felt it was embarrassing. I'm like, James, it's awesome. People are gonna love that.
Oh, he's got a jacket for you on eBay. You see that?
What?
Rad Relics.
Oh, I gotta check it out. What's your name on eBay, Rad Relics? Is it the same? Is it the same name? But we have Christopher Nutter in at $179. Brandon's in at $79.99. Mark Hoyle at $189. Harry at $201.98.
Everybody's
Sean's in $199.99.
It's a tight grouping here. Okay.
I'm gonna, while Andy's struggling to guess over here, I'm gonna search that right now.
I'm not struggling to guess. I got it.
Okay.
Jeez.
Rad Relics Mo. I would just buy myself some time, Andy. That's all.
Okay. All right. Well, since this one's not for the prize, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go $139.99.
$139.99, and then we have Rad Relics in at $74.95. I just found your store, Rad Relics. Let me get over that real quick. Man, he's got a hefty feedback. Man, it's impressive.
He's got more than you?
Yeah, a lot more than me. I haven't sold in a long time.
Yeah,
30,000 feedback.
Cool.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay. Let me get to the price.
We're in the presence of eBay greatness right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Not you.
Here we go.
Whoa,
real life perspective show is on fire. I think he did that last week.
Real life is.
He won the giveaway. And by the way, he won the giveaway last week. This isn't for the giveaway, but he's 2 in a row here.
Yeah.
But we have not for episode number 50. We're 48 now, so 2 weeks.
Yep.
We're gonna do we're gonna start doing a different giveaway. We're still gonna do a giveaway every week. We're gonna do a 12 rig. We're gonna do a 12-week cumulative giveaway where we're gonna keep track of the winners for 12 weeks, and that winner is gonna win a $50 gift card to either one of our eBay stores, in addition to all the wins the giveaways you won in that time period.
Exactly.
So just to reward return customers or return visitors. Yeah. So it'll be fun. Yeah, we're gonna.
We'll have like a little horse race. We'll put like everybody's name on it and stuff that wins. And, it'll be fun. Keith, I'm promising something that Keith will end up doing.
I was gonna say that's you're in charge of that. This is the third time you've said the horse race. It's your job. I do a lot over here.
All right, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, here we go.
Let me I'm getting to his shop.
Stop shopping already. Come on.
But he's got some nice hats. Oh, nice.
All right, so this is the trees of
Carter jacket.
In California. Are you looking at the pennant? Or are you looking at his?
Oh no, I was looking at Ride Relic store. All right. Oh, Trees of Mystery, Redwood Highway. I like it. You got Paul Bunyan with the blue ox.
She's not blue in this one, but
it looks like she's slightly blue.
Yeah,
isn't she?
It's kind of Babe the Gray Ox, I think.
And it looks like a red nose, like Babe the red-nosed ox.
He was, he kind of he's shown where to go for Paul Bunyan with his nose, his light up nose.
So we got Mark and Christopher Nutter very close to each other, $44.99, $45. I think that's high, personally, because I've sold these pennants before. There's one, they're cool.
Rigged.
They're cool. I mean, I don't know if I've sold this exact one. I probably did.
Okay.
But I feel like they're the kind of thing that it's a tourist area where they probably produced a lot of pennants.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Not Niagara Falls level, but it was a popular tourist spot. I'm going to be in the $28. I'm going to be at $28.
All right.
Harry's in at 22. Real Life's in at $39.99. Brandon $29.99. Brad Relic's $34.95. Harry, I don't know if I said Harry was 22.
All right, here we go.
Exact same play, and you mentioned Nick. Oh gosh.
I nail it. Oh,
I hate you. You didn't say $27.99, you jerk.
I know. Well, I was thought maybe it was an offer.
I hate
that's
when
beautiful.
he gets it right.
That is beautiful.
You didn't even give me an incorrect answer one, thankfully.
Well, let me do this first.
For the king!
That wasn't a long enough victory video for me. Oh, let me do this. Let me do this. I forgot to announce Andy's loss. That's not right for anyone.
Didn't have to do that.
Oh, thanks, man, Alex. Appreciate it, man.
We got
nice. I didn't see that because I was busy looking for videos.
Yeah, we got something for that, right? Where's your?
Yeah, we do. I'll go.
That's for you, Keith. You got that.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
The short one.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. It's awesome, Brad Alex. Thank you. Yeah, Sean. I worked you into that. I figured I'm in all of them. Let me work our hops and hits partner into that video. So
I don't like when other people get worked into my demise.
And actually, I made one of them for myself, but I forgot to save it. So that's only you, Andy. You don't have one of those for me. But
all right. Well, let's see if the little payoff works for Rad this time.
Oh, true. Sure. Let me get to show the giveaway again, Andy. On the.
All right. This is
so the winner of this is for the giveaway. You either get to choose this Pack Fresh 83 Topps Walter Payton card that I was going to get graded. It's a gradable copy there, so you can get that or
this.
Yeah. Marshall Falk caricature pennant, 29 inches.
Windcraft, made by the wonderful Windcraft company.
Yep. Wonderful Windcraft. Yep. Wonderful Windcraft. That's like a tongue twister for me. Wonderful Windcraft.
All right.
Let me get the item here.
I'm ready.
And this one has an interesting story as to who bought it.
Okay.
I'll save that for the end. But we have this puppy right here. So let me actually make that a little bit bigger. So,
all right.
John Smoltz. John Smoltz. Yeah, let me zoom in a little bit here. So it's a signed John Smoltz bat.
Right next to John Smoltz. Okay.
Yeah, very nice.
Game used.
Yeah, here's his number 29 at the end.
That's you. You always look out for those things because he said, right? Because
if you see the number on the end, the key is you don't want to see inches on the end. You want to see like a handwritten number like that. So I knew this was probably going to be a game used bat, but I did get it authenticated. I have a partner on this bat. Me and my buddy found it together. We went in on it. Did get it authenticated.
That seems like it's a lot of money.
No, it was not. It wasn't a lot. We didn't pay a lot for it. But we did get it authenticated. They authenticated as team issued.
Okay.
So it would have been, you always want it to be authenticated as game used. But a pitcher is not going to be using a bat. He was a closer at this point. I mean, he probably had like 2 at-bats in the year. So, I mean, I think they should have called it game used. You can even see a little scuffing down there in the end.
Right.
But they didn't. So it's what it is. But that's the bat. Team issued, signed, John Smoltz game, professional model bat. I didn't get the autograph authenticated. I just got the bat authenticated.
Bought by John Smoltz?
Not bought by. I'll save that to the end, but not Smoltz.
Okay. All right, so this is for the pennant or the card. So
for the giveaway.
Make sure
this is the giveaway. So
get your guesses in. I have no clue on this one, honestly. It's like kind of something that you don't specialize in very much, right? Because it's like essentially a relatively new baseball bat.
I've sold a lot of like modern game use bats. I bought a collection of like 200 of them a couple of years ago, and I think I still have some left.
Okay.
But but I don't seek them out. If I find them, I buy them. But I don't seek them out.
All right, 450 Christopher Nutter coming in at 450.
450. Yep. Nice guess.
Strong guess. I honestly don't know where to go on this one. This one
marks in at 226.99. I like the number. I like that.
This one confuses me a little bit.
We've done some game used bats on the channel before. Now that was a Negro League game used bat, so that's different animal.
That was like a $6,000 bat or something, wasn't it?
No. 2,000 or 3,000, something like that. Yeah, I forget the exact number.
Yeah, this one is. I want to know who. I'm trying to think who could have bought it. That would be.
Well,
was it a teammate?
It's not even. I'm not even certain. I don't want to give away any info. It's not going to help the guessing or anything, but it's interesting. But it's not. I'll save it to the end. I'll save it because it's an interesting story.
Okay. Well, I mean, people are still guessing that too. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I got you. Well, I guess I can tell it. I can tell it because we'll let people guess. So I got a message from a guy with the name of a former player in the eBay name saying, "Do you have any?" Or he was asking, "Oh, it's a cool bat. How did you get it?" And he's like, "Do you have any of my bats?" I'm like, I see the guy's name. The name is in some way Glavin is in the name or Glav. So I'm like, no, I don't have any of your bats, but I've always come across bats. I have 2,000 bats in my warehouse, but I'm sure there's no Tom Glavin game bats. And he goes back and forth, and he's like, can you have any wiggle room on this? So we go back and forth. I gave him a price that I was comfortable with selling it. I talked to my buddy who's a partner.
Really, like Tom Glavin's trying to haggle you down.
I know, that's my point here. That's the point here. So we go back and forth on the price. I give him a price. I'm not discounting it because he's Tom Glavin, because I don't need to if he was Tom Glavin. Yeah. I give him a price. He accepts the price. He buys it. And he's like, don't worry about the address. I'm having it shipped to a friend because I don't give my address out so I don't get flooded with autograph requests. And I'm like, let me do a little internet sleuthing here. So I Googled that guy's name and that name, and immediately comes up an Instagram page of a Braves bat collector. And he's posing with he posed with Tom Glavin in a photo, but like at an autograph signing, not like it's just some random Braves dude who was trying to use the name Glavin to maybe negotiate. That's my assumption. Maybe it was really Tom Glavin. I didn't call him out on it because I don't really care because I got the price I wanted on it anyway. Okay. But I think he was trying to use it was a little.
I mean, why would you? Yeah, I mean, why would Tom Glavin haggle over?
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to send to John Smoltz or something.
No, I think it was just to display it. I mean, I agree. That whole part was fishy. He would have just bought it if he wanted it. Right?
Definitely sus.
Right? Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was suspect, and it got more suspect as it went on. Like early on, it was reasonable, but when he starts getting the price down, so it was just weird. I mean, it was just a little identity thief action there.
Yeah, that's true. It's true, Rad. I think that's probably. I mean, I gotta think that's a tactic that people use sometimes. But it sort of happened to me. Remember that one time?
Oh yeah.
So, all right, last story, and then I'll do my picks. Make sure get your guesses in, and for as long as it takes me to tell this story, which won't be too long. But so I had a pennant up there called the Minnesota Pikes or something like that. It was a minor league football team or something like that. I don't know if it was AFL. I forget what actual league, Arena Football League or something like that. So somebody contacts me and says, "Hey, can you do any better on this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I came down like $50 or something, not even $50, but like a few bucks." And they said, "Well, I used to play for the team. I'm the first women's player to ever play on this team." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And then she sent me her and her shoulder pads. I think she was an offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken, but she was a bit imposing woman. I will say that. So I was like, okay, I gave her a price, and then she's like wanted to I don't know, another $100 off of what it was. I mean, it was a pretty good pennant. So
yeah. And
so I was like, nah, I think I'll hold on to it. It hasn't sold yet, but so maybe she was right. But so she got a big old yelling at me
she was angry. She was angry.
You're so mad at me for I was like, come on. No
news.
Thankfully, that was not the case. But I was like, that's fine. I mean, I that's great that you did that, but I'm not going to give you.
Yeah, you gave her a discount, but you're not going to give it to her for free. Yeah,
I think I had it up for $150, and I took it down to even $110 or something, and she wanted it for $60 or something. I was like, come on. Anyway,
so
okay.
I'm waiting on the good feedback from this guy. Then I'm going to call him out on eBay. I gave him my business card and my sticker for Vintage Sport Flips in the package. So if you're seeing this, I'm on to you, buddy.
And then block him.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we got all the bids that are in there. We'll
get yours, and then we'll run through the guesses.
Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go a little under in this. I'm going to go 175.99.
175. All right. So we have Christopher Nutter at 450, 226 for Mark, 352.98 for Harry, 359.95 for Rad Relics. Sean's in at 475.99. And that was the last one, right?
Yeah, Rad. I would. Yeah. There's always that thing. Like, I don't think we don't want to like kind of. I don't think we want to be a channel like calling people out necessarily, but like there's so many. I'm sure Keith has a lot of stories and stuff. Oh, Phil comes in with a last second one.
All right, let's see that. Phil 5 Dime. What's up, Phil 5 Dime? How's it going, man? 489. All right.
Keith tells me these stories sometimes. I'm like, yeah, it's just, you don't want to.
Yeah. I don't put names out there per se, but here's how Andy did.
Oh, ça va, mec? Oh.
Thought I had that one.
It looked pretty skilled in the beginning there. He had a little
started strong,
athletic ability.
Did not finish strong.
All right, no more guesses, right, Andy?
Yeah, that's all I've seen. Whoa! All right.
So where we got over there? Let's see. It might be the last.
The end.
Might be Phil 5 Dime.
Phil 5 Dime coming in at the last second.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 489. So Phil 5 Dime, I don't know if you were here when we went over the giveaway options, but you can either choose, you're the winner. You can either choose the Pack Fresh Walter Payton card or do this. Or that Marshall Falk caricature pennant. Either choose one of those two there, whichever one you want. I don't know why I'm doing it this way now. Oh,
Rad comes.
Yeah, just a tad too late.
I appreciate your hustle, Rad.
No, I like it. Yeah. So again, that guy, even though he pulled some identity theftery, definitely not a word. Definitely not a word. Send it to the winner of the last one. Well, we already sent that out, so that's already here.
Yeah,
Sean already has that, so that's up to you, man. I can let it ride if you want to do that. We can let it ride
to next week or whatever. Yeah. You
could. Yeah, I like. Yeah, is that what you call it? Let it ride and
let it ride to the next. Yeah, or by the end, we'll have like 5 weeks of.
Yeah. But yeah, so even though the guy did it, pass it on. All right, we'll let it ride. Let it ride to next week. We'll double up next week.
Do you want to choose the winning item, or do you want to just I can have them choose this next week too? I mean,
let him choose.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So even though the guy was trying to pull a fast one, trying to get in my head, I was still happy with that price. Right, I had it priced a lot higher, but happy.
So Phil's choosing the Walter to push along. So
okay, all right, very good. Excellent. All right, let's get back to the draft. I'd set Walter aside. I will.
So it's me again, right?
Yes. Well, is it?
Yeah, because I went. Yeah.
I don't know.
I went Jim Brown. Then you went Barry Sanders, Steve Byrne. Then I went Gale Sayers. So now I'm going back again.
You're right.
All right. This is tough. I know. Okay, so I'm gonna go way back in time. I'm really torn between two people right now. Okay, I'm gonna go with this guy. I know some people may take somebody else here, but I would argue there's a reason why you wouldn't. I'm going to go back to the 20s and 30s. I'm going to take Ernie Nevers as my first pick. So he was also what an athlete he was. Like athletes of this day, I think a lot of people played multiple sports. He was also an excellent pitcher. I think he played in the MLB, right, for a little bit. I know he played against Ty Cobb. So yeah, so he must have.
I don't know if he played in the MLB or not, but you have to look that up.
He set multiple long-lasting records, including 6 touchdowns in one game was one. He was also in the inaugural class of the Hall of Fame, which I think is kind of cool. So that is my running back. He was an incredible running back, way ahead of his time.
I'm not seeing any baseball. Well, maybe he does. Oh, he does. I'm sorry. I'm wrong.
Woo, look at me. Look at
St. Louis Browns.
his football.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I like Ernie Nevers, but that's a shocking pick for that first spot. But I agree.
There's a reason why I know you're going to take.
No,
but,
I don't. You do, but
it's not. It's you can take him right now if you want to. You don't have to.
No. But I agree. I mean, I just don't think he's the top. He was a great running back for sure.
From the 20s and 30s.
Yeah. No, it's arguable who's top, but it's not a bad pick.
I would argue that it's not somebody who kissed like a couple years into the playing. He dominated the 20s and 30s. Like
I don't look into that, but we can strategize in different ways. But I didn't really look at guys who played the whole round. Like they encompassed the whole 20 years.
Okay.
I just want the best pure running back from that era. It doesn't matter. We can do what we want to do in terms of how we decide who's the best.
Yeah.
All right. A little tough. Get a little tough. I'm going to go back there. I don't have to go there anymore. All right. This is a relatively deep time period, but again, this is he's going to be top 3 of all time in most people's eyes. And let me see. He's going to cross over 2 of our eras, but I feel like he played a lot more in the 80s to 90s era.
Yeah, I know you're going to pick.
His most iconic time is like that, the 85 Bears. I'm going Walter Payton.
Yeah, I got you. So you've picked that one clean now for the most part, but
yeah,
and I get it. Yeah, I mean I'd argue those 2. I mean, you took. Let me see the thing when you pulled it up. This one.
I'll pull it up.
Okay, yeah, you took Barry in the 80s and 90s. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you took the 2 best out of there, just like I did the same, I think, in the 60s and 70s. I would argue that the 80s and 90s do have a few other really big superstars there. So, but
for sure. Yeah, that's what
I get your point. I mean, Walter and Barry are obviously the 2 big names. So, yeah,
it's definitely the deepest category on the board here.
Yeah.
Maybe 20s, 30s, maybe. Oh, I didn't put Nevers in there. We put Nevers in.
Never forget him.
All right. Let's see. What do I do now? All right. I'm going to go. Do I want to go here?
I'm forcing your hand, I think, to a certain degree.
I don't know if you are. All right. I'm going to go with a player who I feel like changed the game. Really, we went over this before. We drafted this player before, but this guy impacted the game like no other. Move that. Impacted the game like no other. I mean, football wouldn't be the same without this guy coming onto the scene. And he initially didn't come into the NFL but eventually did. I'm going with another Bear. I'm going Red Grange.
Okay.
Red Grange. I mean, he made the NFL. He made the NFL what it was in that late 20s and brought it to prominence. Before that, it was all college football.
Yeah, he was big in college, right? I mean, he was arguably like more of a. I mean, he's known in pros too, but arguably known more in college, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's how definitely. Yeah. I mean, college was a bigger game at that point. That's when he went to the league. I mean, that's why the NFL became what it was. I feel like all the press that he got, the barnstorming tours he went on, and he had a great like PR department with like Christy Walsh, and I don't know if maybe not a department, but like a.
Yeah, Brad, this is tough. There are players that like it's like not widely known. I feel like, or names aren't known because they're kind of lost to history. But Red Grange is a big name. Ernie Nevers, I think, is not as huge of a name, but more known, I think, for people that know.
Yeah.
All right, so back to me. So I got 2 picks in a row here.
Well, one in this round, but yeah, you get the next one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go. Okay. I didn't want to do this, but you left him here, so I'm going to have to do it. So I'm going to go back to the 20s and 30s. I'm going to go with Jim Thorpe. He didn't play a ton then. He played a few years into the 20s, but certainly, Keith said it himself. He's going more for the player during that time, like that.
Yeah, no, I was between Thorpe and Grange. It actually went off of my list a little bit. I had Thorpe number 1.
Yeah.
And then, but I just felt like, I mean, obviously I'm a huge Thorpe fan. I collected Jim Thorpe memorabilia for a long time. I sold a lot of it or almost all of it. But that's, again, he didn't play a ton into the 20s, but definitely a dominant player. And I had a lot to do with like bringing prominence to football, similar to the Grange.
Yeah.
Not quite as much as Grange did, but
another guy that was just like, dual sport athletes are just insane. But yeah. I mean, he was arguably the best athlete of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you know what kind of Native American he was? What tribe he was from?
Was he Cherokee?
No, Sac and Fox.
Oh,
Sac and Fox was his tribe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's we did something we did baseball, right? We did outfilders, right? From this time.
We did outfielders, and we also drafted like a lineup, like a starting lineup through the eras. Remember we did you had to pick a pitcher from I forget how we did it, but
yeah, I don't remember exactly either, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, football's even a little tougher because really when you get into the 20s and 30s, it's a very different game.
Yeah.
40s and 50s, maybe it's kind of when it started, but obviously post is more, but all right. So what do you want? You want to do a stump?
Let's do a stump. Let me find a stump. Stump the strap. Crotch strap.
It's funny though, but that was your nickname in high school, wasn't it? Crotch strap.
How did you not my nickname? I wasn't expecting that.
Sack of Fox. Thought he found I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Keith, question for you. Do you know what Monday was?
Veterans Day.
It was. Very good. That's not your question, but
I'm going to embarrass myself here pretty badly. I feel like.
So we got 2 in this. So I think we can do both. Depending on timing, we'll do that. So I have a good question for you, Keith. Do you know there are, and I think this is an exhausted list, but I'm not 100% sure. Do you know of or how many professional athletes what professional athletes fought in a war and also won a championship?
That's the question you're asking me. How many?
That's the question I'm asking you. So I have 1, 2, 6. I have 6. If you get,
let me turn my comments off real fast. All right.
If you get 2, 2.5, you win. So 3 win, 2 you lose.
So they served in a war and they won a championship in their sport.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, first, I mean, one of the most famous guys who served in a war, Ted Williams, never won a championship. Right? So that's
a little bit of a tricky one there, huh?
Yeah, that's I initially was going there. Let me let's see. Christy Mathewson was served in World War I, but did the Giants ever? Let's see. This can be tricky. It's gonna be tricky.
It's not an easy one, is it?
Yeah.
Where's
I bet Mark is gonna be rolling his off.
Mark, we need you here.
Oh, I'll go.
There we go. Mark's in.
I'll go with DiMaggio was stationed in Pearl Harbor in the Navy. So I'm gonna go Joe DiMaggio.
Okay, so he's not on my list.
He was definitely in the naval station.
Okay,
that's right. Well, maybe like wasn't truly serving. Maybe he was just
yeah
stationed there for like troop morale or something. Maybe I don't
maybe
know.
I'm wrong. Maybe this is not an exhaustive list. This is what I thought it was, but
Let me just search him real fast. Yeah, so Joe Yankee Clipper enlisted in the Army Air Forces during World War II, February 17th, 1943.
Okay, well then you got one.
All right, I mean that. All right, maybe if Mark says I'm wrong, you can listen to Mark
No,
too.
he agrees. So I think
Okay.
you're right on that one. I did not have that on my list. So I don't know. I'm not sure where this is a tougher one to find. Sort of.
I'm gonna go with one of your guys, one of the original Lions. I'm gonna go with. That might not be now. I was thinking Dutch Clark, but that might be Potsy Clark, who was in like World War II. Yeah, the line. Yeah, I'm scratch that. Kick that one off of there.
There's one big one that I think you should know. Well known for kind of being.
Yeah. Well, let me. I think I'll know a lot of World War II guys, and I'm just blanking right now. I know some others.
Mark, I don't know that he won a championship. Maybe he did. I could be wrong. I have another list of something else that we're going to go over too. We can go back to back, or we can split it up too.
Let's split it up, yeah, because I need time to recover my brain here after this. All the stress.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you some hints. This is
give me a hand. Yeah, I'm struggling here.
So similar, same team as the one you said.
Okay, you mean DiMaggio? Yeah. Not my second guess.
Right.
I think there's a bunch of guys on that team who are in like the Navy and let's see who's in that team.
Yep, Mark, you're right on that one.
I mean, was Berra?
Yeah, Yogi Berra, 18-time All-Star, Hall of Fame baseball player, was participating in the D-Day landing.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
World Championships.
Yeah, but I think most of the guys were in World War II, and but I was trying to think of guys who won it. Like I think some of the Cardinals maybe won.
Yeah, Mark had said one that I didn't have him on my list. I don't know. Maybe my list is off, so this is not the best list.
Let me go with I'll go with Dutch Clark. I don't think it's one of the Clarks was in World War II and won a
he was not on my list.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Well, let me help you out some more.
I'm not going to get this.
If you're in the Eagles division, there's a famous player.
Staubach?
Yep, Roger Staubach is one.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking more World War II. I didn't really get my head later on in other wars.
What about one of your favorite baseball players? I think maybe not favorite, but you've often talked about him he could pitch the ball very fast.
Feller?
Yeah, Feller was let's see. He served in the U.S. Navy during World War II and was decorated with 5 campaign ribbons and 8.
I'm pulling the comments
stars.
Mark, did Mathewson ever win a championship? Giants probably won in the teens, right? But that might have been before. Did it matter if they won? I don't know if this list was saying if they won before or after they served.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought this was inclusive, but I guess not. Anyway, I'm going to go through a few more.
Yeah, I should have said Musial. I should have said Musial on there, but maybe it wasn't on.
So you had Yogi Berra, Bob Feller, Roger Staubach, Rocky Blyer.
Okay.
One for the Steelers.
Yep.
Jerry Coleman, which I did not know who he was. Apparently he was a war hero in 2 wars. Warren Spahn was one. And he was a hero in World War II. So yeah, those are my list.
Okay.
It may not have been all inclusive. So I tried to find something. Sometimes it's difficult to find something that's
no, I agree. I mean, Mathewson. So Mathewson won then as well because I thought he won with the Giants.
Well, everybody's working together on that one. Anyway, we have one more after maybe another round. So
yeah, and actually, one of my finds of the week is somewhat Veterans Day related as well. So come back to that.
All right. So
I struggled with that one badly. That's a hard one to wrap your head around, though.
I know. The Roger Staubach, I thought you might get just because he was famously went to Army and all that stuff.
Yeah. I just couldn't get out. In my head, I was all thinking World War II guys.
Yeah.
It's like almost all of baseball was in World War II.
Okay. Right? So yeah. This is okay. So I haven't touched 40s and 50s, 80s, 90s. I really focused on couple eras here. See, I think there's a fair amount. Okay. I'm going to take my first dabble into the 2000s. I'm going to go with the one and only Marshall Faulk, who I have on my on my pennant. So I think this is not a tiny group. I mean, I feel like there's some players, but I don't think it's super deep. So
yeah, not bad. Yeah, I like it. Versatile back.
He's probably in his time frame, he was one of the greatest backs of all time.
Yeah,
he just did everything. They said something like he could have been lined up at a receiver and also made the Hall of Fame. Like, that's how good of a receiver he was. Probably the best dual threat back ever to play.
Yeah, I didn't realize Gary Maddox was a veteran. That's very cool. I didn't know that.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
All right, that's a good pick. Yeah, he stands above the other guys in that era. All right, I'm gonna close out a difficult era here for me. I'm gonna go 40s to 50s again.
Yeah, this is not my favorite era.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Marion Motley, another Cleveland Brown. He still, I think, leads like all time like yards per attempt. 5.7 yards per carry. Yards per carry. I mean, that's pretty wild. That was not a big scoring time, just a plodding, 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of time frame for football. But he was definitely getting more than 3 yards.
I think he also broke the color barrier. There was like a 13-year color barrier or something like that. So he was like also impactful in that way.
Yeah, so bonus points for me, you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's probably going to take away from a player that you may take later. I think you know what I'm saying.
I don't. All right. I don't know what you're saying. Oh.
So you're going back again, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I go again? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so
now
you
closed that one out. So let me see where's the let me bring this up for a second.
This is where it gets a little bit you can see what happens, really. You close down something so the other guy can't get the two best,
Yeah. Yeah, so my I guess I have to go to the current times because there's only the only competition right now is that spot.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with this dude was a dynamo for many years. A dynamo, best back in the league for several years. More of a pure running back. He was a receiving back too, but definitely more of a dominant running back. I'm going to go with LaDainian Tomlinson, LT.
Okay.
With my pick there.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good pick. I mean, I think there's 3 in here total that are head and shoulders above.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah, that's a good pick. I honestly had him one. I mean, like I had all the top 3 for me were almost interchangeable. I think Marshall Faulk probably stands above a little bit. LaDainian Tomlinson's similar running back to Marshall Faulk. He didn't have quite the catching ability, but certainly was. But maybe a slightly better runner. So I thought you were going to go somebody now who I'm going to take now in the 2000s, who is I thought you were saying more of a pure running back. I think the most pure running back ever, almost, and certainly in that time, is Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Adrian Peterson as my 2000s. Close that shop down.
No, I agree. He's definitely more of a pure running back than anyone else. He really didn't catch the ball much in Minnesota.
He was so dominant. It was crazy. Yeah. And he also played for a long time.
Yeah.
Played for the Lions for a year or two, actually, if you can believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. He did play forever. And like he came back he had severe injuries, but never really affected him until he was very,
I think he was named, I think he's the last running back to be named MVP. Maybe McCaffrey is. I can't remember if he won it or not.
I don't think McCaffrey did.
Okay. So I think he might be the last.
I could be wrong.
He also came back, and I think he broke the 2,000 yard mark like 7 months after he tore his ACL.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. Those are good picks. Definitely. Jamal Charles, I think, would have been higher on my list, but he really had a lot of injuries that kind of limited his
Yeah.
effectiveness and career, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, Phil. Yeah, that's
This is
And
like
like-
this is like Keith and this is our heyday when we were playing fantasy. So I think we're very like stats wise, like we remember those guys as being just so dominant. Yeah.
yeah. For me, my fantasy heyday was like the late '90s into the early 2000s. That was the Thurman Thomas through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, like it. So that's the end of that round, right?
Yep.
Now let's get to a segment.
Find of the week.
All right, so my find of the week, I actually went for the first time in a long time. I went to an auction on Saturday, and that's how I got started picking, Andy. I would go to auctions like
Yeah, I remember you used to do the
3 auctions a week, and they're fun, but they're painful. And if any pickers in the so peaceful, yeah,
not at all creepy, right?
the soothing sounds of the King of Pennants.
Hey, Brad, I'll do some ASMR for you if you need if you need to go to sleep with something.
Yeah, you're gonna get a job with like Audible, just reading
no, that'd be horrible.
self-help books. But yeah, so I went there. I used to go to them all the time, and it's like you end up sitting there all day, right, waiting for stuff. So I went to the auction in the morning, and I went for these guys right here. So these are
okay.
So we got a vintage 1960s Eagles bucket hat, and this one. Never seen these before. I actually bought this. I bought a group, so I bought 2 of the buckets, and the one snapback, and then the Phillies 90s snapback. And this guy actually was a season ticket holder. Went to the 60 championship game. Probably one of those hats he wore to the championship game. I don't know which one, but
you got to wear the bucket hat to the next game you go to, huh?
Yeah, I actually had it on before the podcast, but it doesn't work well with a mic. It's a smaller size, not a mic with earphones.
Yeah.
So I went there for them. I got there at like 9:00. I'm sitting there until like 11. They're nowhere near the room there was a house sale.
Oh, geez.
So it was like another part of the house. So I said, I bought a bunch of stuff, just killing time. So I left. It was very close to my warehouse. I went to the warehouse, like worked for like an hour and a half, did a load of laundry, like photographed a ton of stuff. Went back. They still weren't in that room.
Oh, geez.
Eventually they got there and I got the hats. But I bought all kind of other stuff. But this guy was a World War II veteran.
Right.
Let me circle back to what I was saying.
You can tell the ASMR.
Okay. All right. Work on that, Andy.
I'll work on that. I don't know. Not sure I'm going to throw my Asian accent out there for you.
The right level of super chat, Andy. We need to get that in the video.
There is no right level of super chat that I will be doing that and putting that out on the internet. Unfortunately,
all right, we'll think about it.
All yours.
Some sort of filter. Okay. So anyway, I went there. The guy was a World War II veteran, was in the Navy. And I ended up buying this thing. I bought all kind of military stuff, flags, but I bought this, and it doesn't look like much holding it.
Yeah.
But this is super cool. Let me show you this. So this was a handmade like banner that his family had made when it came back from World War II.
The guy that you were buying from, like that was him specifically.
Yeah, that was him. It was Bill.
I feel like it's rude to buy something about. I don't know. I just felt.
Oh, I mean the family.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting was the guy's granddaughter was there.
Yeah.
And I was talking. She was an older lady. She wasn't like, she was in her 60s maybe. And I was talking to her. I'm like, she didn't want it. I mean, they were obviously auctioning everything off. If I was my grandfather, I'd be keeping that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I was talking to her for a while, and I was talking to her about like what was his name, and ended up also buying this, which is like a charcoal portrait of him. It has his name on the bottom of it. So I thought it'd be cool to have them together. But yeah, it is wild that I've sold a lot of World War II, like Militaria, and I bought all kind of stuff there, but never seen one of those banners that was like, you'll see them where they're just like patriotic banners.
Yeah.
It's like 6-7 feet long. It's huge.
It's crazy.
So I thought it was cool especially on the weekend before Veterans Day to pick that up.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
So what did you get the hats for, if you don't mind me asking?
The hats were, I think, $45 for the pair of bucket hats, and then $25 for the other 2 hats, and I bought a bunch of other hats too. So
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right. Good stuff.
All right, let's get back to the.
I think it's my turn again. Is that right? It's a little weird that we're doing this back and forth. So it's good.
Yeah, it seems like it's always your turn. It's not right.
Always my turn. Can you pull it up real quick? Just to make sure.
All right, I thought I did. Okay, here it is.
All right, so this is make sure that that's the case, right?
Yeah, you want Peterson last.
Okay, so it's my turnaround, right? All right.
Yep.
All right, so now I'm down to 40s and 50s and 80s and 90s, which you've already picked. So now, honestly, here on out, it doesn't really matter because, yeah, you can't take any of the ones that I would pick.
Yeah. Unless there's some spillover, right?
Potentially, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
go. I'm going to hold off in the 40s and 50s. I'm going to go 80s and 90s. I'm going to go Eric Dickerson as my 80s and 90s. As a pure running back, I'd argue he's up there with Walter Payton. Certainly, those I think were probably the top three in that time frame. There's a couple of guys. This is a pretty deep. I feel like 80s and 90s were definitely very deep.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the more prolific backs at that time period. I mean, the 2,000 yards, and I mean, he was just churning out yards.
Yeah. Also, talk about an absolute like iconic look too, right?
Oh yeah, with his goggles,
Rec specs, and his kind of like slick back hair.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, classic 80s running back.
Definitely.
All right, I like that. All right, for me, let's see. So I can at 60s, 70s. All right, I'm gonna go back. Stuff. All right, I would say a lot of people in the chat, except for Mark, maybe even Mark, won't know this player.
I love when he does this.
Dominant force. This guy was raised in the coal mines. He was raised as a.
What are you giving a backstory too? Come on.
He was raised as a breaker boy. You know what a breaker boy is, Andy?
No, I don't.
There weren't like child labor laws in the teens and 20s, and he would like work in these coal mines on like the belts in like the top of the coal mines where they were like trying to separate out the stone from the coal.
Okay.
And they would have little kids working up on the side of these belts, like just pulling off rocks off of the belts to like just to get pure coal on the line. And they had like 6-year-old kids working up there, which is terrible. Their hands would be bleeding.
Yeah.
Eventually, as he got bigger and stronger, he would be like in charge of like moving these giant like trucks of coal around the mine. And that guy is Tony Latone, who ended up playing for the Pottsville Maroons team. Won had the championship stolen by the NFL in the 25 championship, but was a great back in the mid to late 20s.
Never heard.
Great running back.
Never heard.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
Should be in the Hall of Fame. Tony
Well,
Latone.
both mine are, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, should be.
All right, good pick,
yeah.
I guess.
It's great pick. Breaker boy. All right,
where's he from? The 20s and 30s? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I'm just kidding.
Oh man, he dominated. He was dominant force. He had some injury issues. Didn't have a long career, but nice guy. I actually owned.
Nice guy. How do you know?
I actually owned one of his championship fobs when he played with the Maroons.
All right, so you're going back again.
Back again. All right. I wanted to make sure I got Tony Latone in this draft. That was my focus. Coming on the heels of
not gonna lie, it's a bigger name. It's a bigger name, Brandon.
No, it's not. Mark never heard of him? Oh, Mark.
Oh, Mark.
No, he's a great.
You're his only saving grace.
Do some research, Andy, after this. He's a great running back.
I'll do plenty. Sure.
He was a huge running back, battering ram, man. Just hardened by the coal mining work.
I'm just surprised. I mean, like, there's a lot of, you could have gone Bronco Nagurski.
Now, Nagurski wasn't a great back compared to Latone. I mean, Nagurski was a great player, but he played on the line too. I mean, he was a great player at that time period, but wasn't
Dutch
like
Clark. I mean, Dutch Clark was going. Yeah.
I'm not going to take a lion. I had Fritz Pollard up there. I would have gone Fritz Pollard, but
okay.
Tony Latone was the best.
So who's your second round?
If I'm going from a good guy, Tony Latone. I've talked to some of his relatives. Tony Latone, very nice guy.
I knew you had to take him. I love that I made you take him.
I'm going to go with less of a good guy.
I personally am going for good players and good people. I don't know what Keith's going to do, but you decide.
Well, this guy has a lot going for him because not only was a great running back, he's also a pretty good actor. Good actor.
No, he's not a good actor.
He's pretty good. Commercial actor on his commercials.
Yeah. He acted great in the courtroom. Acted really good in the courtroom.
Yeah, I mean, the glove didn't fit. He pulled that off. I'm going Ornithol James. I'm going O.J. Simpson for the 60s, 70s.
All right.
Again, we're not character here. We're going just running backs, right?
I don't know what you're going for. I am. Okay. So I got one more and then we're done, right, for this round? Is that right? Okay. Yep. So pick it up, put it back up again. I got to make sure. It's getting a little confusing at the end here. All right. So I have 80s and 90s and then 2 in the 40s and 50s. Okay. All right. So 40s and 50s, I'll go now. I think there's 2 people that I would pick here. Probably Keith would not pick either one, but I'm going to go for my first one in the 40s and 50s. I'm going to go Frank Gifford. He was probably in that time was one of the best two like dual threat backs. I don't remember that line, but I should know that.
Who was that?
I'm not saying I agree with what they did, but I understand.
Oh, he said that? Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm sure in his thing. Yeah, he was a good player. Obviously, you love him because he got knocked out by your boy. There you go.
That's the most memorable.
Yeah,
Frank Gifford there, and Kathy Lee Gifford. I know her more than I know Frank Gifford.
Yeah, good running back though. So hard to tell you. Hate to tell you, but he was. Okay, do you want to do one more quick stump?
That's fine. Yeah, let me get this back up here though, because I lost it when I was doing the video.
Okay. So yeah, put Frank Gifford in there. So we should have 2 left. We should have 1 left.
I didn't have Frank Gifford on my list, I must say, but you didn't have to know the tone.
40s and 50s is not the best time, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. One more. We'll do one quick stump to strap,
Yeah.
and then we'll close.
Hey, let me hit it. Stump the strap. I just went with a shortened version. So
okay, good. All right. So again, we're going back to Veterans Day. I have a list of 39. I think this is complete. There are 39 Hall of Famers who fought in World War II. I will give you 10 guesses to give me 6 of them. See if you can do that.
Okay. All right.
And these are, of course, baseball players. So,
well, I'm a little concerned that guys like DiMaggio wasn't on your first list, but I'll go Ted Williams.
Ted Williams is on my list. Correct.
I'll go.
Name them all for $1 million exactly.
I'll go DiMaggio.
Yes, he is on my list. So
how was he on the other list then? Because if he definitely won championships.
I don't know. Maybe it was just a non-complete list.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Hey Jim, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it as always.
And I can't see the comments, so I'm trying to.
He just said, Jim B stopped by and said hi.
What's up, Jim B? How's it going, Jim B? I checked out Jim B's eBay store. He had a ton of great wax packs.
Oh yeah,
over there. Yeah, so I was eyeing him up. Some cool stuff. Did you get Berra? I said Yogi Berra.
Yeah, Bear is on the list. Okay. So you're probably going to do this one pretty easily. This one gets a little harder, though.
Yeah. So what, I have 3?
Yeah.
Stan Musial.
Stan Musial is on my list. Okay. That's 4.
Bob Feller.
Bob Feller. Well done. You only need 1 more.
Should be easy.
Yeah, there's plenty. Plenty of big names. I mean, they're Hall of Famers. Obviously, you just take a swipe at one of them, really.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Warren Spahn before. I'm trying to think that had to be World War II because he was a rookie in like 48. And that might be a little after. Wow. Let's see. Let me think before I lock that in. Let's see.
I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me what branch of service they were in.
Well, first of all, I don't think there wasn't like an Air Force then, right? There was like a Navy, what they call that? U.S. Navy Air Force, or what was the name of that service?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't think there was an Air Force
Because I think DiMaggio was in the U.S. Navy Air Force or whatever they called that branch, and so was Ted Williams.
No, DiMaggio was in the Army.
Really?
That's what I have.
Wow. Well, Williams was a fighter jet pilot, so that'd be
Williams is in the Marines potentially.
okay.
I don't know. This is what they have written down.
Well, definitely, yeah. Okay. I guess you could do a flying jet in any of those.
Yeah.
In the services, but that wasn't part of the question, so I'm not delving into the branches of the military quite yet.
That's pretty nice. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, very nice, awesome. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go search a little harder now.
Appreciate it, Jim. Yeah, can't wait to see you next time.
Thanks, Jim. All right, I have a lot of guesses left. I'll go Warren Spahn.
Yep, you got it. You're good to go.
Okay,
so, well done.
I was worried he would join the military, like maybe he was in Korea, like after, but that wasn't it.
That was easier than I thought, but I'll tell you some other big names. Luke Appling. Let's see. Bill Dickey was in the Navy. You said Bob Feller. Charlie Gehringer was in the Navy. Hank Greenberg was in the Army. Ralph Kiner. Johnny Mize, Pee Wee Reese was in the Navy. Didn't even know if you know that. Jackie Robinson was in the Army. Ted Williams, you got Early Wynn was in the Duke Snyder was in the Navy. So there you go.
Okay, very nice,
guys. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah, final list.
Yeah,
Hopefully you'll finish strong. So we have it's me again or no?
Just for the win.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's always you. It's always you.
It's always me. It's always me. All right. So I'm going to go. I'll finish up. It doesn't really matter at this point.
No.
I'll finish up 80s and 90s now with somebody that I know you won't like, but the stats speak for themselves. I'm going to go with Emmitt Smith. He's all-time leader in rushing yards to this day. Probably will be for a very long time. He probably will hold that forever, honestly, because the way, at least for currently the way it's working, it's like over like 15 or 16,000 yards, something crazy.
Yeah, there's so many exciting players. You could have Bo Jackson there. I mean,
but sir, as far as
Thomas.
Thurman Thomas is on my list, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So who do you got? You got 60s and 70s and 2000s.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go.
And you're going back to back, so you can just doesn't matter who you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the 60s, 70s.
That's
I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Franco Harris.
Yeah,
Harris.
It's not a good running back though.
He was a good running back. He's a step down from the rest.
He just won championships and had the catch. That's it.
Just won championships. Yeah. There's a lot of guys who are a similar vein. Like after you got past OJ and Sayers, I mean, Sayers, I think OJ is a better running back than Sayers, but it has a little bit of a cloud around him there. But, but I think beyond that, you have Franco Harris, Larry Zonka.
Yeah. Those are the only two I think even had on my list.
I had John Riggins on there, but felt like it was a little later than that.
He was more in the 80s, honestly. I think it was like most of his
pretty even split. Earl Campbell was also. It was similar. They were similar.
So Earl Campbell just had no longevity. Yeah, I would. I mean, there are guys that play for 2 years and were incredible, but I don't think that's not the best running back. So
yeah.
All right, so there you go.
All right, and then in 2000 to current. So I have a player.
Tough one, actually. I think the top three are very well established, and then after that, it's tough.
Well, there's a player that I like that played into the 2000s.
Oh,
which I could play. He played a couple years into the 2000s, which Emmett did as well. Emmett played, I think.
Yeah, but I didn't pick him in the 2000s.
No, but I'm saying I could have picked him.
Yeah.
No, Yeah. Or there's two players that from the modern times that I would pick.
Yeah.
All right. I'm staying green.
Oh, I know where you're going.
I'm going Shady McCoy. The dude was a dynamic running back.
Yeah.
Dynamic running back. I mean, it wasn't like the pure back that like the other guys we drafted in this spot. I mean, it's more similar to Falk than Peterson or Tomlinson, but the dude just could cut on a dime, as his Twitter handle or Instagram handle is, cut on a dime.
Yeah.
And he was just retired as an Eagles Ring of Honor player. They, so last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago.
Not bad. Yeah, he was on my list. I had 2 other modern day players on the list too that we can talk about briefly at the end here.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm back in the 40s and 50s. There's honestly the 40s and 50s is a tough one to pick. I kind of just threw the towel in at this one and kind of picked not whoever, but like, I would have taken Van Buren before you. If he felt to me, I would have taken him like as my next line in line, but just because I think he stands above
the rest. And then Motley stands above the rest after that. But
yeah. All right. I'm going to go with a guy named Joe Perry. He led the 1950s, all of the 50s in rushing yards. He's not a huge name or anything like that, but a very solid running back. It was between him. I have another guy, him and Ollie Madison were the 2 that I had left on my list.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, those were the 5 that I had total. The 2 you picked, Ollie Madison, Joe Perry. So
yeah, it's not a deep list. I said Hugh McElhenney was in there too. But yeah, I agree. I had Perry on my list. Early 49er, probably one of the original 49ers, right? In the NFL.
Yeah.
They were in the AAFC before that. So there you go. Good list.
Good list. So let's see. Anybody else you have on your list? Let's see. In the 20s and 30s, I had Bronco Nagurski, which we didn't take. Dutch Clark. I also had Vern Llewellyn.
I know Doug Llewellyn of the Score.
Vern Llewellyn? Is that?
I saw his name on some lists. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Fritz Pollard would be the guy that I would have taken next. That he was the first, arguably the first black player in the NFL, inarguably, but there were some other black professionals before him that weren't in the NFL, but led the league in rushing the first couple of years, was the biggest name in the NFL in that 2021 season. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. I like it, Sean.
So let's see what else. Gail, I picked everybody. I heard we picked everybody in the 40s and 50s, 60s and 70s. Larry Zonka was the only other guy I had that nobody took.
Yeah.
Here's my next up. 80s and 90s, I had I had obviously Peyton Dickerson. Thurman Thomas would be the only other guy that was be on my list there, I think. Maybe there's some other people that could have squeaked into.
Well, Bo Jackson, Terrell Davis was the guy I was talking about. Terrell Davis, who could have went into the 2000s as well.
Okay.
He played.
Again, both of those guys too just didn't have the longevity for me. And I mean, I know some of that longevity doesn't happen earlier in the all the time, but like during the 80s and 90s and 2000s, there are a lot of good running backs that were there for a long time, and I don't think that those two were. They were there for like 4, 5, 6 years or something, and then they kind of
7 years for Davis, but I think at the end, his last couple of years weren't great.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, that's changed now, at least. I mean, running backs, if you had like a knee injury, like Bo Jackson, or he had a hip injury, but your career's over. Yep. That's changed now. Like Peterson came back 7 months later, ran for 2,000 yards. But back in that day, that was not the case.
Well, Bo may still have had some issues with that. Like he had like a degenerative like hip disease or something, didn't he? I don't think it was something that really could be fixed nowadays. Even
I don't know. It was but it was a fracture which caused like a degenerative condition. Okay. Right? So maybe I don't know. I assume it would have fared better now.
Well, I'm sure there was probably more treatment.
It wasn't an ACL. Yeah.
And then 2000s, the only guy. So we had obviously top 3. I had Shady McCoy. Then the other 2 I had were Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. Both of those guys have been pretty.
Yeah. Derrick Henry was the guy I was going between with Shady. I had McCaffrey nowhere near my list.
Well, McCaffrey was a very good running back before the San Francisco too.
He's all right. He's all right. He's good. He's good.
It's not his fault that he got traded to San Francisco. So don't.
I mean, I feel like there was for the current running backs, I'm trying to think I would go Saquon over McCaffrey. I mean, Saquon was on terrible teams for years. But
yeah,
I mean, just pure.
He's had some injuries and stuff too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry, I think you're right, is probably the more consistent and long.
Yeah, no, he didn't really have any injuries, and he's always been like on a run-heavy team and a decent team. He was never like they weren't great teams in Tennessee.
Yeah,
but he had decent teams around him. So,
all right, there you
pretty
go.
Good list. Pretty good list. So I don't know everyone. If you go to the community page later tonight or tomorrow and vote, but before you do that, go do some Google research on Tony Latone. You want to?
You don't have to. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
I mean, the guy he went from a kid working in the coal mines as like a young child to like.
Then he jumped right to O.J. Simpson. He jumped right to O.J. Simpson.
NFL star.
Also, we all know that nobody's gonna really judge us on the 20s to 50s. Honestly, it's probably going to be 60s plus that are really going to get our votes because most of those guys aren't super well known, or at least the name recognition isn't. I don't know. Maybe Jim Thorpe gets me some, but all right. There you go.
Yeah, we have a little bit of both there. I mean,
I want to do a quick little. We have a thing coming up, right? Did you have?
Oh yeah. I forgot to say that earlier. Yeah, so we have a last Friday night we had a special simulcasted video on Friday night that we did with this channel. We did it on Rips and Brews, our other channel, and with Sean, the Real Life Perspective Show, who's in the chat right here, and with Shane over at Soda City Rips. And we decided to make that quartet a monthly occurrence on mostly probably Friday nights. It sounds like that's going to be the night. And maybe that could change at times, but we're going to do that once a month. We're going to do a live video where we're going to each rip something different, probably taste a different beer, give a review, be a fun live hangouts. Like come over, hang out in the chat. Yeah. And Sean, the Real Life Perspective Show, put this together. This is our new theme song, our new intro song for that. So we'll play this.
Pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, awesome. That music makes me get out on the gridiron and do a little back when I was in my heyday. I was a dominant running back in my day, Andy, if you remember that.
Not true.
Because the key to being a great running back, you really want to envision yourself running through that guy. And that's what I did back in the ball fields.
He would try to run through people and just bounce off them backwards.
Come on. Yeah.
No, real life, we had a lot of fun. I know I did. It's a good time. Check it out. We did some. I don't know. Did anybody have any huge hits? We had some. Oh, we did.
All Garbage Pail Kids. We ripped.
Garbage Pail Kids, which was kind of cool. We were reminiscing about that, so it was a lot of fun to do that.
Well, Shane hit some big stuff after that because we only ripped 6 packs each, so he had an auto card in that box.
Did he? Oh, that's too bad. He would have done it. Hopefully,
I'm sure he recorded it. I assume. What do I know? But yeah, we haven't decided. I think we're each going to rip our different thing in the next episode. It's either going to be, was it December 7th or the 13th? Was it
the 6th or the 13th or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll look right now. Yeah, it's either the 6th or the 13th. We hadn't decided the date yet, but you'll see it. You'll see it pop up on this channel, Rips and Brews, the Real Life Perspective Show, and Soda City Rips. We have it on all channels, trying to cross-pollinate all these channels and bring some fun. And everyone loves a live, right? So it'll be a fun time.
Looks like December 6th is probably most likely what we're doing. So
is that okay? All right, cool. I'm down with that. Yeah.
So anyway, great. Well, thanks for everybody for coming out and hanging with us and sitting through our 20s and 30s picks.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be on the Nurse Flipper channel with Rod Picking and Punching, and I think Troy Mountain Man Treasures. I think that's next Tuesday night. I'll be on their channel. So if any resellers in the chat, hop on over there come hang out. People ask questions and give reselling advice. So it'll be a fun time. And me and Andy have a video coming out tomorrow night on Rips and Brews. I forget, what do we rip? I forget, man, it wasn't that long ago. What did we rip?
I don't remember.
It was a basketball box, wasn't it?
Could have been.
No. It was a 2016 optic football.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and we have shorts coming out over every day over there. And then my picking videos come out Saturday, 1:00. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll, next week, we're back to non-sports, I think. Maybe, we dabbled about a little bit about what we're going to draft. Maybe best non-sport rivalries. What do you think, Andy? Interesting?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Out.